Recording in progress.
So, good morning, everybody. I'm Janice Steinberg. I am, I hate to say subbing for Diane. I am, have the honor of co-creating with you this morning. I'm so grateful that Yochanan is here to handle the co-hosting duties. I want to introduce my husband, Jack, who is going to be helping with some sound. Oh, and it's so nice to see you here from San Diego, the Bay Area. Anna Ale, you must be on the East Coast. So we're here. It's Friday morning. Our parsha this week, Ki Tisa, includes Moses is on the mountain. It begins with Moses on the mountain, receiving all of this God energy and receiving instructions about how the people are to be holy. And so there are complicated instructions for creating a laver, a washing basin, for Aaron and his sons to use when they're going to enter the tent of meeting. So, of course, we have to begin with the hand washing nigun, the beautiful hand washing nigun that Diane has been doing with us at the beginning of the Healing Circle each week. I debated about this. There's a high note that is like such a stretch for me, and then I thought, what a metaphor for preparing ourselves to be in the presence. You know, that it's a stretch. It takes us out of our comfort zone. So just to review the melody with you and to activate our hands, because we will be engaging the body. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Yeah, lie, 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 lie. Yeah, lie, 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 lie. If you want to play with a little dance with this, it can be folding and unfolding the hands. Yeah, lie, 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 lie. Yeah, lie, lie, yeah, lie, 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 lie. Yeah, lie, lie, lie. Yeah, lie, 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 lie. Yeah, lie, 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 lie. Yeah, lie, 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 lie. So let's take a look at our words. This works. Cool. Reshit Chokmah Yirat Hashem Sechel Tov L'chol Osehem Tehilato Omedet Le'ad Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Reshit Chokmah Yirat Hashem Sechel Tov L'chol Osehem Tehilato Omedet Le'ad Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Reshit Chokmah Yirat Hashem Sechel Tov L'chol Osehem Tehilato Omedet Le'ad Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. So, as I said, our Parsha begins with this extraordinary encounter that Moses has with the divine. Moses up on the mountain, having this amazing communion with God, receiving the tablets of the Ten Commandments, receiving instructions for creating the Mishkan, creating a space physically and within ourselves to contain holiness. And while that amazing holy activity is going on the mountain, down at the foot of the mountain, the people are creating the golden calf. Oh, it's how it is, And we are so blessed that Herb has a practice of creating a poem for each parsha. So I want to invite Herb to share his poem.
Thank you, Janice. And thank you for filling these shoes so wonderfully. Your God's too small. Poured from gold, you see God as the way, your way as the only way. How does the mystery of the not yet seen, the unseen, the unseeable fit your vision? My God's too small. I see displays of the one wherever I look. Hear Shekhinah's symphonic silence. Taste Havaya's sweet, bitter, salty sourness. Touch Alepht's velvety sharpness. Smell El Shaddai's sweet squalor. Know Adonai with my body. Engage Yah with my mind. But am still learning to connect with Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh, with my heart, with my soul.
Beautiful. Oh, and that idea of being too small. I think there are times when we all feel too small. And when our imaginations just don't stretch as far as they could. So, the golden calf, Aviva Zornberg, in her beautiful book with chapters on each parsha, says the golden calf is all about anxiety. The people are freaking out because there's a little misunderstanding about just when Moses is supposed to come back from the mountain. And who is this guy Moses anyway? He didn't really grow up with them. He grew up in the palace, and now he's leading them, and they've left behind everything they know, and yeah, they're out in the wilderness. So we are an anxious people. It's we started that way, and then diaspora gave us many opportunities to increase our anxiety. And you may be familiar with the idea of inherited trauma. That trauma experienced generations ago, epigenetically, gets encoded in our ancestors' DNA and gets passed down to us. There's a beautiful book by Resma Menachem called My Grandmother's Hands. And I see Meryl nodding. So some of you are familiar with this amazing book. And I wanted to share a quote from Resma Menachem. The body, not the thinking brain, is where we experience most of our pain, pleasure, and joy, and where we process most of what happens to us. It is also where we do most of our healing, including our emotional and psychological healing. And it is where we experience resilience and a sense of flow. So Resma Menachem has some wonderful exercises for calming the vagus nerve. He calls it the soul nerve. And I'm just going to do a little screen share with a picture of the vagus nerve. So it starts way up the base of the brain, goes all the way through, connects to all of the major organs, lots and lots of connections in the gut, all the way down to the base of the spine. So there is a really lovely practice that he has for connecting to the soul nerve that I want to invite you to do with me. So you're just sitting comfortably, spine gently erect, so no strain, and turning your head to look over your shoulder, turning in a way that you can feel it all the way down to your tailbone. And then coming back to face forward, you look up, you look down, you look straight ahead, and again turn over the other shoulder. So engaging the whole vagus nerve. Vagus, of course, coming back means wandering, so appropriate for wandering Jews. Another way that we can calm ourselves is through the breath. And I see I'm already a little behind schedule, so I'm not going to do a chant that I planned to do, but what I would like to do is share a breathing practice and then invite you to do that while I read part of Marge Piercy's interpretive Nishmat Kol Chai. So this practice is alternate side of the body breathing. Inhaling, imagining that you are filling the entire left side of your body with breath. Exhaling, emptying through the whole right side of your body. The next inhale fills the right side of your body, empties through the left side. Taking that breathing at your own pace and just visualizing that you are filling one side of the body, emptying through the other, and then changing sides. This is a longish poem, so I'm only going to read a couple of stanzas, but I will put the whole poem, I'll send out an email after and put in the whole poem. We are given fire to see against the dark, to think, to read, to study how we are to live, to bank in ourselves against defeat and despair that cool and muddy our resolves, that make us forget what we saw we must do. We are given passion to rise like the sun in our minds with the new day and burn the debris of habit and greed and fear. We stand in the midst of the burning world, primed to burn with compassionate love and justice, to turn inward and find holy fire at the core, to turn outward and see the world that is all of one flesh with us, see under the trash, through the smog, the furry bee in the apple blossom, the trout leaping, the candles our ancestors lit for us. Fill us as the tide rustles into the reeds in the marsh. Fill us as the rushing water overflows the pitcher. Fill us as light fills a room with its dancing. Let the little quarrels of the bones and the snarling of the lesser appetites and the whining of the ego cease. Let silence still us, so you may show us your shining, and we can out of that stillness rise and praise. So we come into presence. We prepare ourselves for the Shema. And I'd like to do that in a way that shares. I teach a beautiful body, mind, spirit practice called NIA, N-I-A. And so I'd like to bring a little of that into our healing circle this morning. I will be playing the beautiful song by Shai Ben Sur that I was playing if you were here for the intro before we started. Yochanan, I sent you the words to put in the chat.
You probably did, and I'm just looking at your
Oh, this was okay.
table of contents, your plan.
Oh, yeah. So there's a second page that I sent you that has the words of the song. If you can't find it, I will simply read the translation. So it's called As You Will, by Shai Ben Sur, originally from New York, now spends his time between Israel and India. And it begins, Hine ani, here I am, completely yours. Do as you will with me. I've come empty. I surrender. My heart is at your mercy. Even if everything is taken away from me, within me I will hear your voice. From the pain, it will resurrect me and fill me with inspiration. So, here's what we're going to do, and many options. I'm going to play the song. I will be doing some simple choreography, and you are most welcome to join me in doing that. You are welcome to do your own dance. You're welcome to simply sit and enjoy this beautiful song. I'm using a recording by Nessie Gomez. And if you would feel more free about doing movement by turning your video off, if that's better for your self-care, please, you have permission to do that. But so entering into presence with as you will. So if you're joining me in doing choreographed movement, just coming into a nice solid stance that lets you feel supported by the earth, letting your hands float up, float down. Stepping out, we're going to gather and come back to your home base. Reaching up. Softening down. We're going to stay facing sideways and reach to earth, reach to heaven. Taking this to your depth. Other side. And gathering from behind the body, caressing the space, caressing your energy body. And then your own groove as you return to your home base. And let's float up. Float down. Gather energy. Facing to the side, releasing to earth, lifting to heaven. Taking it to the other side. Gathering from behind. So we're pulling that energy from the past, from our ancestors, and purifying it. Finding your dance. Other side. So really thinking of this as a caress, caressing your body. As we prepare to enter the Shema, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. So, as we move into our healing prayer, I want to invite you to unmute if you like and say the name of anyone for whom you are requesting healing, or to put their name in the chat.
I could use some healing for myself. 7 weeks ago, I hurt my back, and I thought I was feeling better. I got back to my bicycle this week, and I was not feeling better.
Ow.
Herb, you're echoing.
I wasn't hearing that. Are people hearing? Oh, okay.
I can echo what he said in terms of asking for healing too. His words were echoing in an internal way for me. So I need to put stuff in.
I think I did.
If we all mute the person speaking, it'll be less echo.
Yeah, I made a little change on my sound, and that may be what's making that happen, and I apologize. Yeah, Julie.
I want to say myself, because late yesterday afternoon I caused a car accident. I'm lucky I wasn't hurt more than I was, but I'm very sore and tired today and scared about why I would have caused an accident like that. So I asked for everybody's healing wishes.
Oh, wow, yes. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad, you weren't so injured that, you're able to be here.
Yeah, me too, very much so.
Turn original sound off.
Anybody else? You know what, Jack? I don't know how to turn it off, so we're gonna just we'll deal with this. So I would like to add my niece and nephew, Mandy and Nick Schilke, my cousin-in-law, Jim Hallowell.
I'd like to add out loud my friend Rebecca and Dirk. Thank you.
Elna Rafana La, Elna Rafana La, Elna Rafana La, Rafua Shlema. This time, Elna Rafana Lo, Elna Rafana Lo, Elna Rafana Lo, Elna Rafana Lo, Rafua Shlema. Lahem, we want to get all the pronouns. Elna Rafana Lahem, Elna Rafana Lahem, Elna Rafana Lahem, Rafua Shlema. And Lee, we want to ask for ourselves. Elna Rafana Lee, Elna Rafana Lee, Elna Rafana Lee, Rafua Shlema. So may our beloveds and ourselves be healed and whole in body, mind, and spirit. May our healing be so profound that it reaches back through our strands of DNA to our ancestors. May we have, Diane calls it well and healed ancestors. So we come to the place in our service where Yochanan is asking if I have a website. I don't, but I'll be sending out. Well, you all got my email inviting you to the Healing Circle, so you know how to reach me. You know where I live on the internet. So we've come to the time in our service of remembering our ancestors. So if there is anyone for whom you are saying Kaddish, anyone who has passed during the last year, or someone who for whom you are observing the yard site, please share their name in the chat, or you're welcome to unmute and share their name.
Chandana Becker.
My mom, Harriet Steinberg. I can't believe it is almost the end of Shana Rishana. And I'm seeing names in the chat. So for all whom we are remembering, I invite you to unmute, and if you would like to change your physical position in any way, it's traditional to stand, but whatever is right for your body. And let's say together, Yit Gadal v'Yit Kadesh Shemei Rabbah V'Alma Divra Pirute V'Yamlich Malchute B'Chai Kol Yomei U'B'Chaye V'Kol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala U'B'Zman Hariv V'Yimaru Amen.
Amen.
Yehi Shemei Rabbah
Rabba
Mevarach
Mevarach
Le'olam
Le'olam
Ulamei
Ulamei
Omaya
Amaya.
Yit Barak V'Yishtabach
V'yishtabach
V'Yit'aseh
Shachri
V'Yikadar
Ve'ela
V'Yikadar
V'Kol
Olam
Birchata
Shemei
V'Sirata
Kudashatu
Birchata
La'ela
V'Nechemata
Minto Birchata
Amiran Hama
Shirata
V'Miru
Tush
Amin
Bechata
Yehi
V'Nechemata
Shlama Rabba
Demiran
V'Shemaya
V'Alma
V'Ain
V'Miru
Amin
Amen
V'Alkol
Amen.
Yisrael
Yehi
Imru
Shlama
Amin
Rabba Min
Osei
Shemaya
Shalom
V'Chayim Aleinu
B'Mamav
V'Alkol
Ya'aseh
Yisrael
Shalom
V'Yimru Amen
Aleinu
Amen.
V'Al Kol
Oseh
Yisrael
Shalom
V'Al Kol
B'Mirav
Yoshvei Tevel
V'Ya'aseh
Imru
Shalom
Amen.
Aleinu V'Alkol
Amen.
Yisrael V'Alkol
Yoko
Yoshvei
Yoshvei Tevel.
Tevel V'Yimru Amen.
Amen.
And I'm going to remind you to remute. And it's time for the community kvel. So if you have something that you would like to share, a joyous occurrence that you'd like to let us know about, please do.
I have just come up to the Bay Area. I got to see my grandkids last night, and it makes me really happy.
Oh, wonderful.
I just want to, I'm feeling for you, Janice. I'm feeling that more leadership people are embracing more leadership, and it's so delightful. And thank you for holding space for us. And I just want to report in.
Wait a sec.
Oh, are you on the Zoom right now?
Mm-hmm.
What,
And
do you want to call me back?
there's lots of felling going on. The Carmel Temple is inviting me to return. So after being with them for 23 years and taking a little hiatus, it looks like I'll be Chazanit. So starting in July. And so it's a good feeling. Yeah.
Oh, Elisa, that is so fabulous. Oh, and once I'm traveling again, Carmel, what a beautiful place to go and to go to shul and daven with you.
And have you be special speaker. All of you, right? A platform.
Oh, that's wonderful. So, additional kfels.
Herb's got one.
Oh, Herb has a kfel.
Yeah, I've got a kvel. After weeks of watching these beautiful dogs, my heart melted. My partner Madeline was dog deprived, and we no longer have that deprivation. Last Sunday, a little golden doodle named Ziba arrived, and she is indeed, as her name means, brilliant. She's being raised Jewish.
Do we get to see her?
If I opened the door, she'd be here in a second.
Do it, do it, do it.
Okay, one more. We can do one more. We're kfelled out.
I'll offer one. Just as I said, I put it in the chat, but I'll say, like last week, my sister's Kitty had major surgery. He had to have a back leg removed, and he came through it beautifully. He just landed in the right place at the right time for the right healing. So he's really healing beautifully, and may he just get used to his new body with 3 legs, right? Just like each of us, we get used to our body as things change.
Wow, yes. Yeah. And things that we
Oh.
imagined.
Oh, here comes the baby. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Thank you, Herb.
oh, totally adorable. Oh. Okay, I would like to end with this poem came into my email this week. It's by Ellen Bass, and I found it so touching. It's called During the Pandemic. I listened to the July 26, 1965 Juan Lepin recording of A Love Supreme. So if you're familiar with A Love Supreme, that's the song. The first familiar know them anywhere notes bless me this savage morning. Coltrane's horn racing up and down every alley, in and out of veins and over the faces of lakes and into the heart of stones. And when he repeats a love supreme again and again, it's as though if he says it enough, he can ease that mercy down into me, into the tiny acicular chain, the chemical rush, the spark, and my brain getting it, if even just for this 32 minutes and 48 seconds. My daughter's been sick 7 weeks with the virus. Yesterday she felt a little bored, she texted. And I grabbed that like a shopping cart. I load it up with hope. Make it prayer. When the day's portion of the Torah is recited, someone stands by to correct mistakes. The words must vibrate precisely in the air. So I open my door to the breath of his instrument that refuses nothing, lavishing the grass, gutters, and trees, concrete, cars, the gopher pulling down the new lettuces. This generous sound that can mean anything, nothing, whatever you need. And isn't that God? Isn't that it? This shivering, this fall to my knees. Gods do walk among us, but humans are, after all, a broken promise. And yet, these humans seem to be trying to enter what? I can almost hear it, this old planet. Worms passing earth through their tissue, orchids, corn, mockingbirds throwing themselves into song like there's no tomorrow, which there may not be. Yet, still a mountain, still wind, and Coltrane still offering the same 4 notes, like a teacher who is infinitely patient. He's telling me it's worth it to be in a body. He's telling me I'm alive in a beach town in California, and my daughter in a high-rise in Vancouver. My girl lying feverish on the couch she's been lying on 49 days and 49 nights, still alive. Thank you so much for coming and davening with me. And please unmute, wish each other Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
You should go back to US.
Shabbat Shalom.
Good Shabbos, good Shabbos,
Good
good
Shabbos,
Shabbos.
Julie. All the best, Julie.
Shabbos.
Petruski.
Thank you, Janice.
Blessings,
Janice.
everybody.
Thank you, Janice, so
Thank
much.
Thank you, Janice. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone. Thank you for
Shabbat shalom, everybody. Thank you for your well wishes for me and the dogs as usual. And Janice, I'm so glad you were sharing and leading us today. Wonderful.
Oh, thank you, Julie.
That's very sweet.
Continued healing.
Thank you.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.